how dynamic can your apps be if the values in them never change? Very dynamic, it turns out, even if you're a barely functional dev like me. Let's talk about immutability. It's a word I've used before, but haven't really fully explained. First, I'm going to explain another concept that'll help relate the two together, and that's what's a value. This should be fairly straightforward for most folks already. Values can start with things like numbers or booleans or strings, and those are commonly referred to as primitive values. It can also be a combination of multiple values together. This could be considered an aggregate or a collection or perhaps an array or an object, whatever you refer to it in your language. The important thing is values, they always are what they are, and they cannot change. That's what makes them immutable. So the number 3 is always 3, and the string hello world is never going to be anything but the string hello world. So the thing is, purely functional code is written using only these values. And you might be thinking, if we're only using immutable values, how can the code do anything useful? In the real world, we want to handle input that's not known at the time we're writing the code. And so the answer to that is we need to separate the code that interacts with the outside world and have that code feed those values into our functions as input. And you can think of this code like drivers that would interact with your operating systems, because in many cases, that is a part of the code that's actually executing there. And like drivers, we generally only want to write this code once and not have to solve this problem over and over again. It's important to make it generic and not have any application-specific logic in it. This is the scary land of mutation, and personally, I like to spend the least possible time here. I'd rather spend my time writing pure functions that take in immutable values and then return immutable values that are the result of whatever logic I want to write. This is actually where business logic happens in your code. And that's where most value is created when you're writing code. And value is what gives me fulfillment as a programmer and a human being. Along with that comes mental sanity and performance benefits that I'll be explaining in future episodes. But that's for later. For now, I want you to like this video, comment on what you want next, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that sweet notification bell.